No, no chance. You got no chance.
No chance. Ryan is joined by. I'm. I'm going to try that. Ryan is joined by me. What is that? Oh my god.
Yeah. I was a bit confused where you're going with that
Right,
one.
focus, focus,
Fair
focus.
enough. All right.
Hello and welcome to a very, very special video. Long teased, long awaited. Ryan joins me again for the first time in a
Yes.
while because we've been working. This one's been in the
As
works
always.
for a while. We've been preparing, as you can see, maybe from Ryan's new setup behind him, the little tease there, and the fact that we're both wearing blue, which we didn't plan.
I,
But
I I specifically put some blue on. I thought it's got
see,
to be done.
I didn't. I just got back from uni and I was just wearing blue, so
Oh, fair.
it worked out, I guess.
Fair enough.
But if you haven't realised, we're talking about Weezer. We said this was going to be a 100
Yes.
subscriber special, and
How
I'm
many
now
subs you on now?
140. So
Ah.
it's a bit late.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, it's still, at least I haven't hit like 200 or something. That would be a bit embarrassing. But
Yeah. This has been 200 special.
yeah, well, it's the 140 subscriber special apparently. But yeah, I guess before we go into it, how did you get into Weezer? How familiar were you with the discography going in? Tell me.
I was very familiar with the discography. It's only the ones that are really negative reviews are the only ones I didn't know. So I didn't going in. I didn't know the compilation album Death of False Metal. I didn't know Raditude, Pacific Daydream. I didn't listen. I've not listened to Teal before this,
Mhm.
and I believe that's it. They're the only ones that I've not listened to before this. And Weezer were not really a band that I thought I was gonna like very much when I first listened to them. I think I listened to Blue and I gave it about a 3.5 score out of five, 3.5
Mhm.
stars. So it's like a 7 out of 10.
Mm.
I just got addicted to it, and then from there, Pinkerton, and then the rest of them just got addicted to their sound.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I was kind of similar to you. I knew like um before I even listened to an album, I knew like Island of the Sun and Say It Ain't So. I think those are the only two I knew. And then one day I just thought, listen to the Blue album. It's got good reviews. I probably won't like it. They're a very goofy band. And like
Yeah,
you, I liked it a lot, but then it just kept growing up and up. So yeah, I knew 6 or 7 of these before going in. I knew a lot less
yeah,
than you. So this will be interesting to see how we both land. So we're scoring out of 10 as we usually do. Um, we have 16 albums to rank, which is the longest discography on the channel, which means we're going to break it up a little
is
bit.
it? Ooh.
Yeah, so Ryan's going to go first with his first bottom three, and I'll go, and then we'll go one at a time once we get to the top 10. So Weezer. Let's go, Ryan. What have you got at the bottom?
Well, I slightly spoiled my kind of ranking there when I say these are less albums that I've not listened to before. My bottom three, number 16, I've got a 2 out of 10, Gratitude.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then number 15, Death to False Metal. That's a 3 out of 10. And up to 4 out of 10, and at 14, Pacific Daydream.
Yeah, yeah.
And not good. Not, not good. I mean, Rapture, I think I quite like the opener actually. If you're wondering if I want you to, I want you to. That's okay. That's okay. That's a. I've gave it a 6 out of 10 score.
Okay, yeah.
The only real half good song on the album. I'm Your Daddy. Terrible. I mean, it's called I'm Your Daddy. That's just embarrassing stuff. I can't remember the girl got hot. I can't remember. I can't stop partying. Super cringe when that rapper comes in. What the Weezer lyrics? No. Love is the answer. Yet one of the worst songs. The Japanese singing. That's terrible. That's Attitude. 2 out of 10. do not listen.
Proceed with caution.
Death to False Metal. 3 out of 10. They're most boring. Just nothing to it. Really, no memorable songs. I remember Everyone's really bad. really, really repetitive, really, really bad. The first three songs I've got a 5 out of 10, so they're not like terrible. Other than that, it's all mediocre stuff, just forgettable, all of it. Pacific Daydream, that's just Imagine Dragons. It's just Imagine Dragons. I don't know why they've done that. After two good comeback albums, Pacific
Yeah.
Daydreams, it's got Feels Like Summer, which is really bad, and Any Friend of Diane, that's really bad as well. I quite like QB Blitz. That's the one song. Which I got a 7 out of 10 on that song. I quite like that one, but it's not that good. It's okay. It's okay.
Did you pick Park Life Behind You on purpose because of the connection to Raditude with the dog? Is that why you picked it? Kind of a
No,
similar
I did not.
answer.
I did not. I did
Yeah.
not. I just like Part Life and thought it looked cool.
It works well though.
But
It's similar.
it does work very well. Yeah.
You might be surprised. I don't have the
Cool.
same three albums as you do.
Right.
But
Right.
I have the same bottom album because I have a working brain. Raditude is my
Yeah.
2 out of 10. One of the worst things I've ever listened to in my entire life. It genuinely made me reconsider why I listen to music. I was like, this exists and I'm listening to it. It's genuinely like
Yeah.
made my brain melt. Even if you're wondering if I want you to, I want you to, is considered like, oh, that's the good one, and then it gets bad. But that song is like, if that was on any other Weezer album, it would be the worst song. But it's
Yeah.
like because it's on that album, everyone's like, oh well, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I'm Your Daddy is really rough. The Girl Got Hot is so bad. Can't Stop Partying is like a fascinating song because it is so unbelievably terrible and really thought it was a good idea. And
Yeah.
like Lil Wayne just
Oh, Little Wayne. Yeah, that's it.
yeah,
Oh God.
not
Yeah.
the one.
Not.
I think Put Me Back Together is probably the best song on the album. That's only because it's listenable. I never want to listen to it again, but while I was listening to it, it wasn't the worst thing
Yeah,
ever.
I've got that's
Um,
a 5 out of 10.
Love is the answer, like you said. It's really preachy and gross and like what why Let It All Hang Out, really loud and obnoxious. In the Mall, yuck, terrible, so bad. And I wrote down that this album is everything wrong with the year 2009. So
Really? Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
so dated in that time. Like it feels so like late 2000s, early 2010s in sound. It's just crap all the way through. I
Yeah.
regret listening to it. So my number 15, which I'm jumping up to a 4. I don't have any threes. And it's Hurley is my number 15. Which
Wow. Okay.
I I I'm really watching Lost at the moment. Lost is a great show. For some reason, Rivers Cuomo took a picture with Jorge Garcia and cropped himself
Yeah.
out of it, and then called the album.
I was going to say, have you
Hurley.
seen the full picture?
Yeah, yeah. Called the album Hurley after his character in Lost, which okay. I think this has some of Rivers' worst vocals on this album, like Memories. Oh God, he's singing is really bad on that song. It's really loud and really lame, and like this came right after Raditude, so similar problems with the sound, very dated, very like 2010 kind of sound. It's like ugh, not good. Where's My Sex is just as bad as everyone says it is. It's awful. It is genuinely really bad. Smart Girls is also terrible. Like I don't know what else there is to say about some of these. Like it's less offensive than Raditude, but it's still pretty crap. So it gets a 4 for Hurley. And then yeah, my number 14 is Pacific Daydream, also a 4 out of 10. Coming right off the White Album, this is quite frankly pretty embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Mexican Fender has its moments, but it's pretty poor. Beach Boys is actually an okay song, but the production is so bad that it's unlistenable. Yeah, you were right. Feels Like Summer. Enough said. QB Blitz is the best song on the album. I agree. Kind of reminds me of the songwriting on OK Human, where the lyrics are weird and like don't really make sense, but it's melodic and fun. And yeah, I don't mind that one. I think Any Friend of Diane's, I actually don't hate it, but I think the lyrics are like really funny on that one. But I think it's quite catchy and memorable, which is more than I can say for most of the album. So yeah, Pacific Daydream is my number 14. Give me an
wow.
Yeah.
Good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, my number 13, Make Believe. That's again a 4 out of 10. And it actually starts off, I mean, it's got probably the most controversial Weezer song, Beverly Hills, to start it off. And it is a mediocre song, but it's just so catchy, and I've just got used to it being a big hit. So I've got it as a 6 out of 10 song. It's okay. Perfect Situation, that's really good. I really like that one. Great guitar intro, and the album starts off quite well. This Is Such a Pity is good. Hold Me is good. Peace is good. And then, bam, number 6, We Are All on Drugs. one of the worst Weezer songs out there. And yeah, from there, it doesn't really pick up. The rest of it is mediocre at best. Freak Me Out again. Really, really bad, annoying song. And it's literally, you get We Are All on Drugs, and the album just goes. Don't get me wrong, it was not good, like amazing start. Could have got like a 6 out of 10 score, but it just kills after that. The album's gone, and dropped it to a 4 out of 10. Number 12, I got the Teal album. Just, I don't know what the point was. Basically, what's the point? They're doing it for the meme. They're doing it for the meme because people wanted them to cover Africa, which is it's not a bad cover. It sounds like Africa. I mean, that's okay. But then, what's the point in this? For a bit of fun, I listened to the album all in full. Then I listened to it again. So I listened to Africa by Weezer, and then I listened to the original one just to compare. And they did lose every single time to the originals, but that's because they picked such good songs. I think the worst covers are Mr. Blue Sky is pretty bad, Paranoid's really bad, Stand By Me is bad, and Billie Jean's probably the worst cover on this. The rest of it's maybe okay.
The Billie Jean cover is rough.
The Billie Jean's really rough. The rest of it's okay, I suppose, if you have to cover these songs. Number 11, the last Weezer album, Van Weezer. Now, I quite like Hero. It's quite catchy, just typical Weezer song, really. All of the good ones, that's okay. Pretty catchy. Quite repetitive. End of the Game, I really like. That's a really, really good song. Once again, these are the standard Weezer songs, really. I need some of that. That's quite good. Beginning of the End. This version of the album is different to the single version. The single version is so much better. It starts with its just vocal and like strumming on the guitar, and then this one just starts with these weird noises. But yeah, that's quite good. And once again, it's track 6. Track 6 once again. And it just goes Blue Dream. And this has got the Crazy Train riff in it, and it's just what's going on? It's so bad, so good. It just nicks the Crazy Train riff and just completely ruins the entire song. Makes me want to listen to Crazy Train, though, at least. That song's a 1 out of 10. That's what I've given that one. And one more hit as well. Please play, please daddy. Like, this is recent stuff. Why are we going back to 2009 Raditude? There's no need for that. And then that's a 2 out of 10 song. That's really, really bad. And then the rest of it's mediocre. Sheila Can Do It's okay. Just mediocre, the rest of it. And yeah, 5 out of 10. Not great.
Okay, well, we're not too far off. There's one album that I've mentioned that you haven't mentioned yet, which is interesting.
Yeah.
My number 13, Death to False Metal, also a 4 out of 10. You were right. There's nothing that good about it, but it doesn't really, apart from what was this song? I'm a Robot. There's not really any like all-time bad Weezer songs on there. Like they're mostly just whatever. But that one is really bad. yeah, it's really pointless. I guess it was contentious that we included it, but since it's like all songs that haven't been on albums, it kind of has to be counted. But it's technically a compilation of loads of unreleased tracks. Yeah, it has a fairly promising start. I think Turning Up the Radio is a pretty good opener. I think I Don't Want You Loving, also pretty decent. Yeah, it's not really near their worst, but never really going to listen to it again. And then I'm the same as you, 12 and 11. I got Teal album at 12 and Van Weezer at 11. So Teal album, again, 4 out of 10. Just so many of these are just crap. If anything, it was nice to have a break from songs written by Rivers Cuomo. But I think this album's really held back by the fact that these are all like karaoke staples. It's like they're just massive songs that everybody knows. And when you cover songs like that and you do them, you play it straight and play it exactly the same way as they do on the recording, what is the point for it to exist? I think No Scrubs is the best cover because it is the most Weezer type song. It's the one that
definitely
fits Rivers Cuomo's voice the most. Yeah, it's mostly inoffensive but pointless. I was going to give it a 5, but I felt like, yeah, there's a couple of really bad ones. Like I think Billie Jean and Stand By Me, you're right, both pretty horrid. And Mr. Blue Sky as well, not good. And actually, I thought the Take On Me cover, the synth sound on that is really bad, really bad.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, his vocals on Take On Me are actually pretty good. And Happy Together, not bad cover. And yeah, Africa's Fine. And I think No Scrubs is a pretty good cover. So, but you're not going to listen to any of these over the original. And then, yeah, Van Weezer at number 11, which if you'd have told me before this that there would be 5 Weezer albums worse than Van Weezer, I would be very upset. But this is how it's worked out because this was my least favorite album of 2021. I maybe like it a little bit more now, but it's still a 4. I think I warmed up to the first few tracks a little bit. And they're still not classic Weezer or anything, but like Heroes an okay opener. All the good ones, yeah, pretty good. End of the Game, pretty inoffensive. And then it's like I picked up on this. It's like on these albums, he keeps referencing like I don't remember which album it is where he's like, "Oh, I'm going to listen to Neil Young." I think it's the Black Album. And then there's this one. He's like listening to Aerosmith, and I'm like, "Why are you doing this on every album? No one cares." Like, I just don't get it. He's one more hit, one of the worst songs they've done. And then the line on the closing track, "Who needs real estate when I got you?" is one of the,
yeah, that's super cringy on that.
One of the worst. So yeah, I can't say I'm ever going to listen to Van Weezer again. It's still below average. This was a difficult discography. If anybody who watched the Pretenders video was upset at the negativity on show, I hope you're happy now because this is what real negativity is. Okay. 4 out of 10 for Van Weezer. It's poor.
Oh God.
So now 1 at a time. Regular.
It's not 4 out of 10. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sticking to 5 out of 10. The Black Album is my number 10. It's just not my favorite kind of sound for them. The first single they released on it, "High as a Kite," really, really good song. Really, really strong. Kind of ballad for them. I like Zombie Bastard as well. Pretty catchy. I don't know if you like. I like Zombie Bastard, but the rest of it,
it's a funny song.
It's a funny song. It's a funny song. I like them too. They're the only really 2 I go back to. The rest, I'm just not into the sound of this one. Some people might be, but yeah, it's not for me. I think it drifts off towards the end again. Piece of Cake's kind of where it starts to drift off a bit for me. And yeah, California Snow, not bad, but yeah, I don't like listening to this one. It's just bang average stuff. Not a fan of it.
Fair enough.
Just
yeah. So my number 10, we're still not lining up, but this is one you had quite a bit lower than I did. I got Make Believe number 10, and I'm up to a 5 out of 10. Yeah, Beverly Hills is complete garbage. I actually think Perfect Situation is a pretty good pop song. It almost sounds like something like Take That would do, which is a bit of a weird
Really?
comparison. It's got that like 2000s pop like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cheesiness. Um, yeah, Hold Me is a nice song. I like the riff. I think Peace is nice. Again, some nice guitar on there. Yeah, We're All on Drugs is an embarrassment. Uh, Damage in Your Heart is painfully generic. Pardon Me, very strange song. I actually I don't mind My Best Friend. It's quite harmless and wholesome. You know, it's I like it. The Other Way is pretty fun. I think it ends. The last three songs are all pretty decent. So it starts well and ends well. There's that middle chunk where I'm like, um, yeah, it starts well apart from Beverly Hills, but yeah, Make Believe's my number 10. 5 out of 10. It's half good, half terrible. So that's kind of
Yeah.
gets to number 10.
Okay. Okay. Still not that one that you're expecting me to say. Number 9, a same score, 5 out of 10. The Red Album. Just a mixed bag. It's so weird. I mean, I think on the cover they're all wearing different stuff. I don't know who pointed this out, but they're all wearing different stuff, and that kind of fits the album. Just the cover that does look weird, and the album is just so weird. Troublemaker is kind of rapping on it. I don't actually mind the song. It's quite good, almost good. But yeah, it's okay. That's quite a fun one. The Greatest Man That Ever Lived. A lot of people like that one. I don't get that one really. It's just kind of proggy, not for me. Bit weird. Pork and Beans, classic Weezer song. Yeah, just one of the few just classic Weezer songs, as good as the '90s material. And yeah, Heart Song, quite good. Everybody Get Dangerous, really, really bad. Really, really bad chorus and just really cringy stuff. Oh, and then I can't remember which one. Oh, is it Automatic? The drummer sings on, Pat sings on, and it's just that. No, stop it, stop it. Angel One, that's a decent closer. But yeah, just total mixed bag, totally weird. There's no kind of rhythm to the album. It's got Pork and Beans, which is awesome. The rest of it is maybe good, maybe just bang average or mediocre. That's the Red Album.
It's also my number 9. So we've lined up on something. Well, we lined up on a couple before, but yeah, in the top 10. Yeah, I've got it at 5 out of 10 as well. I think Troublemaker is a weird song. It's kind of awful, even though it is catchy and it has like a like guitar sound. But like the song itself, I don't really know if I like it. And then you get what's the second song?
The Greatest Man That Ever Lived.
Greatest Man That Ever Lived. Yeah, it's sort of like this rock opera style. I don't love it, but I think it's very interesting, and I'm glad that they were doing something a bit out there, which is kind of why I bumped this album up a bit, because just not everything works, but they're doing something different, which was cool. Yeah, Pork and Beans, classic. Yeah, but then there's some other songs on the album, like Heart Songs, which is pretty garbage. Again, that song is like inoffensive musically, but the lyrics are hilariously bad. And then you get
I don't actually mind Heart Song, but
yeah,
cringe.
Yeah, Everybody Get Dangerous is the fact that Rivers Cuomo wrote a song called "Everybody Get Dangerous." Thinking that anybody would take that seriously, like God. And then Dreaming is another like very ambitious song. I'm not sure it sticks the landing, but it's trying something different again, which I like. I'm glad that they weren't just doing another attempt to do the Blue album again. Do something a bit different, even if it doesn't work, which it doesn't really. And then the Angel one, decent, not one of my favorites, but yeah, it's all right. Weezer Red album. Would I listen to it again? No. Was it the worst thing ever? No. It's fine. 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay, number 8. Going up to 6 out of 10. We finally got Hurley.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm surprised you got it so low. Most people are kind of into this. And the song Where's My Sex? Yeah, it's a terrible song, but it's because his daughter or something, it used to say "Where's my sex" when wanting to say "Where's my socks."
Yeah.
So if you place the word socks with sex, it makes complete sense. How are you meant how people are meant to know that? I do not know, but I know that.
Yeah, no, you're just
So
saying
that's
you
it. That's
just said
it.
that "Where's My Sex" makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Even if you think you're talking about socks, that song makes no sense.
Yeah. That was yeah, that's a pretty bad song. I like Memories actually.
Yeah,
That was on Jackass. Was it Jackass 3 up there? I quite like Memories. It's not bad. Chain Rex is good. I think there's a good vocal on that. It's probably the one on the album that he sounds like actually into, probably most of them. And it's kind of this era, singing, he's not that,
yeah,
doesn't sound that into it. But I think Train Rex, that's a bit of an outlier. I think he does, sounds quite, I won't say passionate, just it just sounds more into it than most. So I like Train Rex. Ruling Me is quite good, Unspoken. So the first song is quite good. And then we get Where's My Sex, which is not good.
no, it's not.
And yeah, the first four I'd listen to again, not much. But I think they're good songs, all probably about in the 7 range, 6 or 7 out of 10 range. And there's some okay ones. It's just straight up power pop. It's not a comeback from Raditude, but it's acceptable compared to what Raditude was. And
Yeah,
why they would make an album with Hurley on the cover, I don't know the show, but that'd be the cover after the horrendous last one. I don't know,
yeah,
but they did, and then they took a bit of a break after this, which I'm not surprised because they needed this break.
mate. They could have like they could have released anything and it would have looked acceptable next to Raditude. So
Yes,
not
yes,
giving.
yeah.
So my number 8, which is one you've had before, which means we have the same top 7. The order will be
Good.
different, I'm sure. My number 8 is the Black Album, also a 5 out of 10. I thought this was okay. This was right at the end. Yeah, Can't Knock the Hustle though, not the best start. Really cheesy and kind of the style of music that just can't really pull off. Um, I wrote down "Zombie Bastards" sucks so much. Jesus, I can't do it.
What?
I clearly didn't like that at the time. But then I think
Okay,
after the
well,
first couple songs, it does get better. I think "High as a Kite" pretty good. Does deserve the hype as the best on the album because it is. I think "Living in LA" was also pretty good. Makes you wonder what the hell Rivers is doing when he's writing these other songs when he can write something like some pretty good
yeah.
songs on this album. Um, I'm just being honest. Also, I think is surprisingly pretty good and yeah, I like it. Too many thoughts in my head. Again, lyrically not great. I think that is that the song where he references Neil Young. It might be. And then is
Yeah.
it Byzantine is kind of interesting. Something very, very different for them
Oh, I
again.
don't like that one. Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually think that one's pretty good. Which
Yeah, fair.
I like how weird it is. And then yeah, California Snow, I'm not a big fan of as a closer, but yeah, it's passable. Far from their worst. Middle of the road. 5 out of 10. Slowly we'll get a bit more positive.
Slowly, we're getting.
Um,
I'm going to start getting a bit positive. I think here, I'm up to the 7 out of 10 range.
mhm.
So my number 7, I've got the Green album, and it's not worth the 5 year wait from Pinkerton. If you're a Weezer fan in the 90s, 5 year wait, and you get this, you probably won't be a Weezer fan anymore. And I think that happened to a lot because not because it's bad, it's a 7 out of 10 album, but it just follows the formula of like just kind of riff, chorus, guitar solo, which is just a vocal melody, and it's just does that for the entire album, really. It's only 30 minutes long. I like Don't Let Go, Photograph, Half Pipe, and The Sun, and Oh Girlfriend, really good song. So they're the really good songs, and then the middle bit just kind of drops off, just super generic, forgettable. I've listened to this album quite a lot of times now, and Crab, like Crab if you wanna. That's all I know. It's just totally forgettable. Not Down Drag, barely remember that, and Smile, once again, barely remember that. And I've listened to this album good probably about 5 times. But then first four, I'm happy to go back to, and I think Oh Girlfriend's really underrated song. Really into that one. Good intro, a lot of good guitar work. But yeah, I think it's a good album. It's a good album.
So My number 7 is Pinkerton.
Oh no! Oh no, I knew you were gonna say it. I knew you were gonna say it. Nah. No, no, your party took so long. I knew something was happening. Right. Need a drink to calm me down here. Jesus. Go on.
So, yeah, I imagine there'll be gasps and groans from throughout the Weezer fandom. It's not
Ah.
a video. Don't worry about it. Ryan's going to say some nice things about Pinkerton later. But I have some things to say about it first.
Go on.
The lyrics are a big thing for me on this album. I think obviously there's like two camps with Pinkerton, where either you find the lyrics so honest and raw and relatable, and then there's people like me who find them kind of weird and creepy and not something that I relate to or have any connection to at all. I think Tide of Sex has a pretty solid riff that sort of ironically gets quite tired by the end of the song. It kind of drags a little bit despite not being too long. I think Get You is my least favorite song on the album. I hate that hook with a passion. Get you, oh my god, I can't stand it. It's like a drill being put
Wow.
in here.
Wow.
It's really bad. No other one is okay. I don't find it all that engaging. I do like Why Bother. That's a good song. Nice hook. Very catchy. Across the Sea is pretty decent. Am I right in saying that Rick Ocasek doesn't produce this one, does he? I think it's just
No.
Yeah.
Self-produced, yeah.
So, the production is a bit more like emo-y, I guess.
Definitely,
yeah. Yeah. So there are only two songs on this album that I hate, and they are Get You and El Scorcho. I really can't stand El Scorcho.
El Scorcho.
Yeah. I think the guitar sound.
Oh no! Well,
the guitar sounds really bad. The lyrics are terrible. And yeah, people give this album so much credit for being this like raw emotional statement, and I just don't see it. I really don't. And yeah, I think despite all that, it has landed at number 7. It's a 6 out of 10. I think it's decent, but it ends quite strongly. I think Pink Triangle is one of their best songs. Genuinely, I think it's really, really fun. And I think that's one of the few where the dumb lyrics kind of come across as charming rather than off-putting for me. I think Butterfly is a really sweet closer as well. I think it just fits the album really well. And yeah, it's not a very cohesive listen for me. It feels very disjointed. And I think the best songs for me really stick out like a sore thumb. So there's like 3 songs I really like, 2 songs I really don't like. The rest I've listened to the album like 3 times and I don't remember them. So that's Pinkerton. I think it's okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's okay, but
I mean, I kind of expected that from you, but it's still not what you want. Still not what you want. Still not what you want. Okay, he's got Maladroit over Pinkerton. Okay. Yeah, my number 6. 7 out of 10 again. Maladroit. Very close to the Green Album. I think the Green Album's top songs I actually preferred better than this. It's just this is just more overall, just more of an exciting listen. This is kind of what Van Weezer should have been. This is like super heavy, riff based, loads of guitar solos, really cool, but still clearly Weezer. And Van Weezer just flat Weezer. But this is it's really cool, and it starts off strong. Dope Nose is awesome, cool riff. Cool song. Not best ever, but that's good. I really like Keep Fishing. I don't know if you've seen the music video, the Muppets.
Oh, no, I haven't.
You have seen it, yeah. That's a really cool video. And yeah, just really catchy, just sweet songs about relationships, I think most of them, and just Take Control. Love the vocal performance in that one. And that's a really strong one as well, quite underrated. Just loads of good ones. Burnt Jam. That's awesome. And I thought you would like that one. That's an awesome song. And yeah, I think overall, the songs kind of, the ones that I've noted are above kind of the 8 out of 10 range. And then the rest of it's about probably in the 6 or maybe 7 range. terms of score I'd give. But yeah, overall, it's explosive, exciting album. Just slightly better than Green, just because it is not as one note. There's a bit more to it. But yeah, Maladroit, number 6.
I won't be talking about that one for a little bit. My number 6 is the Green Album. And very controversial putting this directly above Pinkerton, I get it. But I will acknowledge that what you say is correct. If you really love Pinkerton and this came out 5 years later, you're going to be disappointed because this is basically playing to the cheap seats, sort of saying, no, we can still be Weezer. We can still make fun power pop. And I guess what it comes down to is that this is more in line with what I want from the band.
Yeah.
I think Pinkerton is a bit too like edgy for me. Like it's a bit too like trying to be this big emotional statement. I just don't get it. Whereas Green Album is just dumb fun. It's a 7 out of 10. It's not the best album ever. It's pretty good. I think Don't Let Go is a fun opener. I think Photograph carries the momentum nicely. It's a pretty safe and generic album, but there's a focus on melodies. And I can see how you've listened to it like 5 times because even though not every song is super memorable, it's a perfect like summer day album that you just chuck on. It's like half and it just breezes by. Hash Pipe is okay, not my favorite. Island in the Sun though, all-time classic. Don't care what anyone says, is up there with their absolute greatest songs. I think Crab is ridiculous, but kind of fun. Knockdown Drag Out, yeah. The album just feels quite uninspired. Even if it is while you're listening to it, it's fun. It's kind of like as soon as you stop listening to it, it leaves like no impression on you, which is definitely a problem. Yeah, very easy to listen all the way through. Couple big standouts, nothing bad. Yeah, solid, reliable, good. The Green Album.
My number 5, you're gonna know what it is because I can get the vinyl out. It's an 8 out of 10. Okay, Human.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
A bit of a surprise comeback once again after some pretty just bang average albums. But then again, is it a comeback when they release Van Weezer afterwards? I'm not sure.
Very, very brief.
It's just a very, very short comeback. And yeah, it's just solid. It's just chamber pop, super sweet. Lyrically, I don't really pay much attention. And it was good timing when it came out. Kind of COVID times, lockdown times, super chill, only half an hour. Kind of like what you're saying about the Green Album. Super easy to listen to. I'll probably listen to this one probably over 5 times, like 6 or 7 maybe. All my favorite songs, really good single when that came out. Surprised how good it was. Got me excited for the album because I didn't. When they announced OK Human, I'm thinking OK Computer. I'm thinking no, but it's not really like that at all. Allegory is brilliant. That's a brilliant song, and then keeps that up as well. Gets a Raft. That's brilliant as well. Kind of commercial, audio commercial, but hey, I like it. Numbers, more slow kind of ballad that one, but once again, and simple kind of message. Everyone is obsessed with numbers these days. Instagram likes, whatever. I think I think that's relatable. Play My Piano, it's great again. Mirror Image, the song that just Fontana went mad at with that closing. That's a really cool moment.
Such a good reaction, yeah.
It is a classic reaction. I imagine everybody's seen it, if not, needs to. And then Screens, probably the weakest song on the album. But it's once again, it's not good. It's all solid stuff. It all keeps the same kind of sound. I like Dead Roses, kind of a bit more darker sound, a bit more emo-y. And Lubretopis, it's good closer. Underrated one, I think. But yeah, it keeps that 8 out of 10 standard throughout the album for the most part for me.
Yeah, we'll see where I have it. I wonder. My number 5, still a 7 actually, is going to be Everything Will Be All Right in the End, which it's considered sort of part of the duo of late career sort of Renaissance albums in the 2010s with the White Album, which of course neither of us have mentioned yet. It's immediately more inspired, I think. Again, similar to Red Album, they're trying something a bit different in parts here, but it works a lot better on this album than it did on that album, generally speaking. I think Back to the Shack catchy, fun. Eulogy for a rock band rocks out. Is fun again. I wrote that Lonely Girl sounds like an AI generated Weezer song. Like it's like the most Weezer song that has ever been in the history of Weezer
Yeah,
songs.
yeah.
I think I've had it up to here as an absolute banger. It's so good. The British Are Coming as well is sort of a nice change of pace. Lovely acoustic guitar intro, and the guitar solo in there is so good as well. Yeah, there are some weaker ones. Da Vinci, clunky sounding riff, doesn't work that well for me. Some really cringe lyrics. The there's a Stephen Hawking shout out, and then he's singing about ancestry. I'm like,
Yeah.
right. Go Away is decent. Cleopatra again a bit clunky, but it's okay. And then I really like Foolish Father, really sincere, really like that one. And yeah, there's a few annoying like modern production flourishes, but the core idea of the album is very nice. And yeah, the trilogy at the end, yeah, is cool. Return to Ithaca, um, really cool
Yeah.
guitar showcase on that one. So
Yeah.
I like Everything Will Be Alright in the end. It's not fantastic, but it's pretty good. Strong 7. It's only up from here for me. So
Very nice. Okay. Yeah, that's my number 4. And I've obviously got it 8 out of 10. Sticking with same score there. It was pretty close with Okay Human, but I've listened to this one more. That's basically how I've decided to do it. Great opener, Ain't Got No Body. I listen to that one all the time. That was quite a lot on repeat. That's a really good one. Back to Shaka's good follow up to that. I think that's really strong. And it's just literally, it's like apologizing for them being crap. They needed this break, and they've come back and they've released a very solid album. And I think the shows just take your time, think about what you're doing. Don't just release every single song, because they can make good songs. It's a bit, it's not really cringy, this one, but it's just makes me laugh. Like, maybe I should play the lead guitar, Pat should play the drums. Like, yes, do please. Usually for rock bands, that one's a really good rocker. Yeah, I agree. Lonely Girl is just generic. It's good though. I like Weezer, obviously. So it's a good song. I've had up Teal. That's really cool. Really cool kind of guitar and that one. I love the British Are Coming. It's kind of proggy. That's really cool. Really good guitar solos. All of these songs, for the most part, are guitar solos, and I think that's just a big part that's been missing in Weezer, because on Hurley there's not one guitar solo. I think they do it well. I like Da Vinci. It is a bit cringy lyrics.
yeah,
I like it. It's just pop song. Feel good. Go Away, duet. It's good. It's good. Solid. And the rest of it's probably not my favourite. Foolish Father is good as the time. But yeah, the rest of it is decent. So yeah, they're the standouts for me. They're the standouts that I go back to. Mainly that first half there and first few songs. And the British Are Coming. Really good for me. So that's an 8 out of 10. Strong one. Definitely there. Come back.
you're not big on the trilogy then at the end.
Not really. It's good rocker, but no, don't go back to that. No.
That's your big hot take.
Is it a hot take? That is it a hot take?
I think it's one of the highest. I think it's the highest rated song on the album on Rate Your Music.
Is it? No, I don't go back to that trilogy ever.
Well, my number 4 is Maladroit, which is my top 3. Then were all albums I knew going in. So this is my favorite of the ones I discovered. I've actually an 8 for this one. I think it's pretty great. I think American Gigolo, very fun opener, big distorted guitars. Dope Nose is really fun and catchy. Yeah, Keep Fishing, so fun, so fun. Take Control, awesome riff in the verses of that one. I think Death and Destruction is a more pretty sounding song, which when they do that, and they do it a couple times on this album, it works quite well. I think Slob has a cool sort of bite and edge to it, sort of the garage rock style that was kind of missing. Even on the Green album, that one feels a bit more tepid than the debut. So yeah, very cool. Burnt Jam, so good. The sound of the album is very cool. It's almost like the guitar sound on that is almost like Strokes-ish, I think, for Burnt Jam. But yeah, space rock, cool shorter track. I actually think Slave is a really catchy, fun song. Yeah, I was quite taken aback by how much I like this because I didn't expect to really. Um,
Well, yeah.
yeah, Fall Together is a fun track, and I think December is a really, really, really good closing track. Very tender and sweet. So yeah, surprisingly strong. It has a unique sound within the discography. Um, I just think it's really, really good. Maladroit, number 4.
Okay, number 3. I don't think there's going to be any surprises here, but what's a 9 out of 10 score? The White Album, 2016. So the follow up to everything will be right in the end. And this one, they kind of needed to like, all right, stop apologizing, just make some good songs again, and they smashed it. They really did smash it on this one. California Kids, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Just back to classic, and it's just a feel good summer album. Just put it on all the time. Once again, probably listen to this one about 7 or 8 times, just ridiculous amount. Because in summer, it's just always one I want to put on. And I made a mistake to you. I said to you, it's 10 for 10. There's no like all these songs above 8 out of 10 score, and most of them are about the 9 score. So we've got California Kids, Girl, We Got Good Things, brilliant. Thank God for Girls, bit weird, but really cool. Chorus, Do You Want to Get High? Kind of that Pinkerton sound coming in again a little bit. I really like that one. King of the World, awesome chorus when that comes in. Great stuff. And yeah, it does start all jacked up. That's really cool piano intro. And Endless Bummer, that's good. That's a really good acoustic and rocking closer. That they do quite well. Yeah, so it is these top 3 albums, all for 10 for 10. This one not quite enough to get it to 10 out of 10, but still solid 9 out of 10. The White Album, number 3.
It's also my number 3. I think, yeah, California Kids, great way to open, really pleasant, upbeat vibe. It's probably their most like summery album, I would say. It's like just summer everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, yeah, it makes for a good listen, especially at that time of year. It doesn't really break the mold at all. Sort of less unique sounding than Maladroit, but like you said, the track list is just so consistent. I think it beats it for me. Yeah, Girl, We Got a Good Thing, easily my favorite on the album. So catchy, love it. King of the World, also great. Yeah, there's not much to say really. It's
Yeah.
better than it has any right to be, considering how this is their 11th album. Yeah, it there's no real duds. It's just a fun listen all the way through. There's a reason why fans love it so much, and yeah, I see why. It's just like it's not gonna blow your mind, but if you just want a fun
Yeah.
like summer power pop catchy listen, the White Album you can do a lot worse. And considering they named an album the White Album and they got away with it and made it good, that could have gone really bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 2.
Well. This is the typical top 2 with fans, and I don't think you want to be surprised with my pick. Did take a bit of thinking, but at the end of the day, it's always been this way. My number 2 is Pinkerton.
Thank God.
I made it sweat a bit there, but this has always been my number 2. It's still a 10 out of 10. I don't have many 10 out of 10s. And I wish I wrote more notes on it, actually, because I didn't realize you're going to go in so harsh. Yeah, I like Get You. It's my least favorite song on the album, but it's still got that just raw feel. And I know you pointed it out, and I know that's kind of one of the reasons that you don't like it, but it is so raw, so aggressive, so honest. And that's why I do like it. Get You. I quite like the hook. I mean, yeah, it's weird. The album is very weird. No Other One. That one song, kind of, I think about kind of being with someone who's probably not that great for you, but you just want to be with someone, so you just stick with them, and there's no other one. Or he's just obsessed with this girl, and he just because it opens, "My girl's a liar, but I'll stand beside her," and stuff like that. And I just think they're great moments, great lyrics on the album. Why Bother? I really like that one as well. That one's brilliant. Just that one's kind of the opposite. It's kind of being like, what's the point of even bothering with people or having like a relationship or anything? What's the point of even bothering? Because I'll just end up hurt. I think that one is quite relatable. Across the Sea, it's probably got some of them lyrics that you don't like in it. I imagine, which yeah, they are weird. They are weird, and it kind of when listening to it, like this album should have not been made. Like this is like an accident. Like it was an accident. Um, and at the time, I think after it released and it got negative reviews, he was very negative about the album and he didn't want to anything to do with it. Like if you listen to interviews in 2001 when Green Album's coming out, he's like, yeah, that was an embarrassing album and stuff. But at that time, it's weird. Like he must have been so confused because at '96, it was so negative about this album. But by the time they started releasing Green Album and stuff, it was like, no, that album rocks. Start doing that again. But you can't do that again because he's not in that headspace anymore. Um, but yeah, the lyrics, yeah, they're weird, but they're very honest, and that's what I mean. This album should have not been made, but he did make it. So just being so honest, and instead of speaking to a therapist or something, he makes music. The Good Life, that's really cool. That's really cool. Good riff, and that it's got that guitar solo, really messy guitar solo. Then it goes into that beautiful kind of guitar part, and I really like that bit. That's really strong. El Scorcho, man, can't believe you don't like this song. I absolutely love this song. It's so really goofy, really goofy, weird. Kind of references grunge and going to a Green Day concert.
Yeah, that was
I like
exactly
that.
how it
I
was.
just I just think it's cool. The riff is awesome. The guitar solo when he's kind of singing over the top of it. um, I really like that song. I like all these songs. It's 10 out of 10. Pink Triangle, fell in love with a lesbian. Okay. But in reality, she wasn't really a lesbian. Whatever. Weird concept, but awesome sounding song. Falling for You, once again, kind of about what the title says. Awesome kind of song. Six with the same kind of grungy kind of vibe. Very emo album. And the Butterfly acoustic closer, super sweet, super nice song. One of my favorites. And yeah, overall, just I love this album. It is kind of starter for emo music. It is very just honest and just talking about what it's feeling. And it is, like I say, it feels like you shouldn't be listening to it, but the music fits it so well because it's so messy, so kind of aggressive, and it's thoughts and stuff. It just works with the music and the lyrics together. I think it works. So yeah, plus I think the music's awesome. It is just like I say, it's like Nirvana. It is just super loud, super aggressive, great guitar playing, and yeah, it's a 10 out of 10.
I guess I'll add a couple more points. Is that one thing to contextualize this is that I also like Nevermind more than In Utero, and In Utero for me is like half great and half not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So that might have something to do with it. And also, I like In Utero more than Pinkerton because I think Kurt Cobain sells the songs a bit better than Rivers Cuomo does for me personally.
True, but yeah,
Each
at
their
this
own. I
time,
mean, the Weezer fans are going to love you, so I would be the villain. So.
yeah,
And this is probably very controversial, but my number two is OK Human, the 2021 album, which feels a bit ridiculous saying it out loud.
It does a bit. It does a bit.
But you were saying about the albums you've heard the most. I listened to this when it came out, and I was like, that was all right. That was pretty good. And then I was listening to Alu Go B, and I was like, yeah, this song's great. And I was listening to Grapes of Wrath, and I'm like, this song's also great. And I kept watching Fantano's reaction because it's so funny because he's so surprised. And obviously, when you watch the reaction, you get bits of the songs stuck in your head. And I just kept going back to it. I can't go higher than an 8 because, if I'm being honest, like I can see why some people don't like this album because it does really. There are a couple songs, especially where it does feel like they're just written as Weezer songs, and it's like, all right, we got to put it on this album to have the orchestra with it. And it doesn't really fit. Whereas the orchestra fits a lot better on some of the other songs, I think. Obviously, all my favorite songs was the single, really great. The strings sound really nice. I think it's produced really well, and Some insane lyrics. Alu Gobi, he's singing about some street food he got. Grapes of Wrath is audible commercial music, still somehow great. Yeah, and then songs like Numbers and Mirror Image, surprisingly emotional for Weezer, which is really cool. And yeah, I agree with you. Other than Screens, there isn't really a weak track. I like playing my piano as well. Like, it's a short album, so maybe if they made it a bit longer, there would be more weak tracks. I think it's easier
Probably, yeah. So
it's easier to make a short good album than a longer good album. But
yeah,
there's not much to complain about. I think it's maybe a little bit front loaded, but it's pretty good all the way through. Yeah, I enjoy this album a lot. I like the sort of the aesthetic of it, like the sort of the string sections and stuff, and yeah, I think it's kind of this sort of softer style fits his vocals more at this point, because obviously we have the same number
yes,
one where
yeah.
not every song is soft and nice. So I'll let you tell us what is number one. I wonder what it could be.
Okay, what could number one be? It's a Blue album, and I couldn't justify putting it's blue. Yes, I'm wearing blue. It's on the wall there, and I couldn't justify putting Pinkerton above this just because on Last FM, which I've had for about a year and a half now, probably a bit longer. It's my listen to album on that one, and I probably think it's the most listened to album ever.
I think when we
it's definitely one of my.
We exchanged favorite albums lists once, and I think you had it number 2 or number 1. It was right there with OK Computer.
Yes.
It? Yeah.
I had it number 1. I had it number 1, and in a way, I don't think it's the best album of all time. Kind of definitely not. But it's just so good to listen to. Like I say, when I first listened to it, it was a 7 out of 10, which is outrageous now. But I'm just being honest. I didn't want to like Weezer. Really, I was like, these guys looking a bit nerdy on the cover. Like, no, but it's an unbelievably good album. My Name is Jonas. Yeah, it's a classic, brilliant acoustic intro, and then wham. The guitar tone on the album kind of just carries it. It just sounds so good. No one else. That's a little bit creepy, kind of like Pinkerton. It's a little bit of a creepy lyrics on that one. Not let this girl be with anyone else or put makeup on and stuff. That is the start of the creepiness that we're gonna get on the next album. The world has turned and left me here. Not one of the normal standouts in this one, but it's one of my favorites.
That's
just for the harmonies.
Yeah.
The harmonies are so good, and yeah, I think it does grow on me because it wasn't one in my head that I think would be a favorite. When listening to these albums back, listening to this one loads, that's one that's stood out for me and kind of rose. Buddy Holly, just he can't stop listening to it. He can't stop listening to it. And it was a song when I started getting into this album and the way I just could not stop listening to. It's just super short and it just starts straight away, kind of like Beatles. Kind of just starts with the vocals straight into the song. Super catchy, super fun, awesome music video. That's an amazing song. Undone the Sweater song once again. My mum listens to this song and she finds it absolutely hilarious because it is silly and a bit stupid, but yes, it's great and there's great guitar work in it. I think Matt Sharp adds a lot to this band in the 90s with his kind of backing vocals, and when you see him live, just so much energy from him. And I don't think him not being in the band is the reason they fell off. Definitely not. But he was a big part of this band in the 90s. Surf Wax America once again. It's awesome. Super fun. Say It Ain't So, kind of the emotional kind of song on the album. Kind of probably the only one maybe that would kind of fit on Pinkerton. Maybe no one else as well, but nah, maybe not. But it's an emotional song on the album, and I think it's a classic for a reason. Yeah, it's a lot of imagery about the drinking basically in the song, in the lyrics and stuff, and that's another one that I got addicted to. In My Garage, it's a personal favorite. Inspired by the Beach Boys song In My Room, and it's about the same thing. just kind of being alone away from everyone because he is saying it's weird. His favorite rock group's Kiss, and he likes all his weird stuff. So just leave him be, and he'll sing his weird songs, like stupid songs. And it's like, yeah, that's relatable, and that's a great song. And the guitar solo is absolutely awesome in that song. Holiday, yeah, great intro. I love the breakdown bit, the clicking the clicking the hands and stuff. And Only in Dreams, once again, that's brilliant, brilliant outro. Great bass on that one. Throughout the song, and just builds up, goes down, builds up again. Great stuff.
Well said. Well said. My number one is also the Blue album. It's a 9 for me. I think it's fantastic. It's an all-time classic, fun power pop album. 1994, one of the best years in music history. Definitely in my top 5 for that year, for sure.
Definitely.
Loaded year. You think about like Jeff Buckley and Manic Street Preachers and could go
Blur.
on. Nine Inch Nails, Pavement, Blur, like God, so much good stuff. But
yeah,
My Name is Jonas, great way to open. I actually think No One Else is my least favorite on the album. It's okay, but you saying it's like Pinkerton maybe makes sense.
It's just weird lyrically. I mean, I don't mind it. I think it's a great song, but it is the weirdest lyrically.
Yeah, World Has Turned and Left Me Here, really catchy, really great. Not one of my very favorites, but I've liked it more and more with each listen. Obviously, Buddy Holly is an all-time classic. It's great. Undone, killer track. This run in the middle of the album is just unbelievably good. Like from like track 4 to like track 8 or 9. It's just all great stuff. You got Surf Wax America, which is a real favorite of mine, really infectious. Say Ain't So, arguably their signature song, I think for good reason. It's so memorable from the first time you hear it. It's a song that embodies the 90s for me. Like that, when I think of the 90s, one of the first songs I think of is Say Ain't So. I think it just really rocks out and really defines, a lot, a great era. Holiday has always been a favorite of mine. Very wistful, very sort of sincere lyrics, very catchy as well. That vocal melody is in my head all the time. And then Only in Dreams, I like it as an album closer, but I don't really listen to it outside of the context of the album. But when I listen to it with the album, it's a good closer. This album deserves its status as a classic. And I don't see it as lesser because of what came after. If anything, that makes me like it more because it feels more special. Because they never.
Yeah.
I do like OK Human a lot, but doesn't even.
It's not.
Doesn't even. It's
not.
So,
yeah.
I think the Blue album, for all the bad things I've said about Weezer, the Blue album is fantastic.
Brilliant. How close to a 10? Are we almost at a 10?
Not really.
No,
like a mid 9, like not a low 9. It's definitely staying at 9, but it's like I think there's the No One Else in the Garage and Only in Dreams. I like, but I don't love them. I think they're good, but that's kind of what I need. Who knows? I've only listened to it all the way through like 3 or 4 times. So,
there you are. Yeah, we'll see.
Like you had, like every listen, it was going up and up and up. So
yeah.
I do need a break from Weezer now.
It was. Oh God, it was a lot listening to Weezer, and it reminded me why I got into them so much in the first place. Especially because I started with Green first and listened to Pinkerton and Blue album last.
That was probably wise because I did Blue album first and then
just because I already knew them ones really well anyway, and I just thought let's start with what I don't know, and it's very rewarding to get to these.
I'm sure it was, yeah. But thank you very much for watching. If you're a big Weezer fan, if you're a big Pinkerton fan, I'm sure you'll let me know why I'm so wrong. But it just happens sometimes. You can't connect with something, and I'm sure people feel the same way about albums I love, and I'm glad Ryan's here to provide the positive.
Yes.
But, so we've got top 20 songs coming, as well as as a feature exclusive to the Weezer video.
Oh.
We might do it again at some point, but this is the first time it's happening. We're going to count down our top 10 worst Weezer songs, which should be very fun. I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Ryan will be back. I'm sure we haven't talked about who we're going to do next, but I'm sure we will once we stop recording. We'll have a little think, and Ryan will be back to do another discography. But stay for more Weezer videos. We'll still be wearing blue because that's the best one.
Yeah.